You are Locked On Buckeyes, your daily podcast on the Ohio State Buckeyes. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome in, Buckeye fans, to a bonus episode of Locked On Buckeyes, live after Ohio State's 70-66 loss to Virginia. I'm your host, Jay Stevens, veteran sports talk host, delivering passionate coverage about your Buckeyes. And guys, this one, it was fun to watch for the most part, but down the stretch, Ohio State turned the ball over. They made some blunders. They couldn't put the ball in the basket. And the ultimate result was a 70-66 loss to Virginia. We will discuss what is next for Jake Diebler. It is his mission internally for himself moving forward. But guys, this game was right there for Ohio State to win. You already know you are the underdog of this game, as Virginia was the number 15 team in the land. You are shorthanded without your second leading scorer in John Mobley Jr., who is out indefinitely with a hand injury. And so you're losing a guy that averages 15 points a game. You're playing a team that's won 5 in a row. That's one of the hottest teams in the country. This is a game you're not even supposed to be close in. You're not supposed to be able to find a way to win this game. But all of a sudden, what we found was Ohio State had a moment where Bruce Thornton started to do Bruce Thornton things. He was hot. He was going off. They didn't have an answer for him, from his three-point shot falling to him using his angles and his bigger frame to get into the basket. Once he starts going downhill, he is very hard to stop. You got Amari Bynum playing some big minutes, and I thought Taysom made a couple of shots early to kind of get into a rhythm, but they didn't really use him throughout the rest of the game to really be a scorer. And so you got Bruce Thornton, you got Amari Bynum, you got those guys doing really good things on the basketball court. You had to be pleased with what they did. Of course, Bruce Thornton is expected, but he couldn't be everything. And we said that on the show on Friday. The afternoon show was all about this game, and we said Bruce Thornton has to go off, but it can't be a game where he has to be the leading scorer. Well, that was before John Mobley Jr. was ruled out for the game. He did step up offensively, but down the stretch, Ohio State had some issues. They were up 59-53 with 10:06 left in the game. Bruce Thornton hit a layup, and we were thinking, and I was thinking, Ohio State can literally pull this off. Throughout the rest of the game, the final 10 minutes left in the game, Ohio State got outscored 17-5. In the first 47 possessions that the Buckeyes had, they had 3 turnovers. They finished the game with 8. Now, you already know the points in the paint was something that was going to be a struggle. Defending the paint is going to be a struggle. Some of those same struggles were already there. But down the stretch defensively, you made some mental errors. That can't happen. Down the stretch offensively, started turning the ball over and doing things you hadn't done the previous 30 minutes of the game. That can't happen. Even in the final 2 minutes, Devin Royal gets the ball, kind of fumbles it, and then just kind of tosses it and coughs it up to Virginia. Virginia goes down and scores. These are things that can't happen. When you're trying to find a way to get into the NCAA tournament, which is one of the goals Ohio State has every single year, is to make the big dance, you can't do this down the stretch. I don't care if it's Virginia. I don't care if it's Northwestern. I don't care if it's on the road at Penn State. I don't care who you're playing. If you're trying to get up to a certain place in the season and you know you're on the bubble, even in the broadcast, they said Mike DeCourcy has Ohio State as one of the first 4 teams out, as he should. This team has talent. I've said it all season. The individual talent on this team is there. The team aspect, you put the talent there as all 5 guys on the court, that's an issue. And it showed up in this game. Virginia is way better than Ohio State. Ohio State had no business being this close to Virginia. But when it came down to it, Ohio State made errors. They were not careful with the basketball. They couldn't score in the final 10. Only scoring 5 points in the final 10:06 of the game is ridiculous. It's not acceptable. And you get me here on a Saturday night. I know it's Valentine's Day. I got the dad gang hat on with the Valentine's Day flower up there too. My wife and I had a good day. We did some family stuff. We hung out and made sure that we spent some time together when my son was taking a nap, and her dad and stepmom came over to do some stuff in the nursery before our next little one came over. We had a good time, but also we knew Ohio State's going in this game. It is a game that they can win, but they would have to play their A game. And they didn't do that. They didn't play their A game. They are right now at 16-9, a team that, based off the teams moving and wins and losses and moving up and down different rankings, they have a quad one win. The narrative was, and I thought this was going to be their first quad one win. No, they have a quad one win now. They are 1-8 in quad one games. That's horrible. I get that Ohio State's not a basketball school, but my goodness, Ohio State's one of a respected basketball program, and you're playing like this down the stretch. I mean, hats off to Bruce Norton. He ended up playing phenomenal basketball. They had a game-high 28 points on 12 of 21 shooting. At one point, he was 11 of 14. He finished the game down the stretch 1 of 7. So not only were the Buckeyes turning the ball over, not only were they not able to play and get stops defensively, Bruce Norton started to miss some shots that he wasn't missing earlier. When he got hot, he got hot. But this is one of the signs of a team that can do some good things. They even raise their level of play against Virginia, but they have not been able to overcome some of the errors that have been there the entire season. It's not a good look at all. Not for the players on the court, not for Jake Diebler. I feel like a broken record. Hey, we're really good for part of the game. Original level play because we're playing a ranked team, but down the stretch, we just don't have the belief in ourselves. We're not confident in our abilities to get out there and play the basketball, and it showed up once again. You cannot lean on one guy down the stretch to do everything, and Bruce Norton is great. Don't get me wrong. But he needed more help. He did get some help from Amari Bynum. Very happy for what they got. Christoph Tilley hit his season average for 11. He's still under his average for rebounds, which is horrible. The Buckeyes were -14 in the rebound battle. They were -5 in second chance points. I was kind of surprised that Virginia didn't get more second chance points. Only got 4 points off the bench. Those are both from Ivan, who got 4 points. He was 2 for 3 from the field and second on the team, tied for second on the team in rebounds with 5 in the game. Just not good enough. It's just not good enough at all. Now, Virginia is bigger, both at the guard and the big position. So you are going to be going up. They went up against a team that was a different match, a tough matchup for them. That's true. But that didn't mess up Ohio State. The issue with Ohio State was the Buckeyes got in their own way. The Buckeyes started turning the ball over. They didn't get stops. The Buckeyes did what they have done all season long. In big games, sometimes they raise your level of play, and they aren't able to close games out. Did the same thing against Michigan the first time around when they played in Ann Arbor. Played really tough basketball, really competitive basketball, played harder and better than expected. But down the stretch, they didn't get stops, and the better team kind of widened the margin. And only having a 4-point loss to Virginia is big. Here's the difference. It hurts the resume, which leans into what Jake Diebler's message is and mission is for the team throughout the rest of the season. We will dive into that after the break. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Hiring isn't just about finding someone willing to take the job. It's about finding the right person with the right background who can actually help your business moving forward. And if you want candidates who match what you're looking for, Indeed Sponsored Jobs is the move. Because instead of hoping the right person stumbles across your post, Indeed helps you match with quality candidates by boosting your job listing to the people who fit your specific criteria, like skills, certifications, and location. If I were hiring, I wouldn't just want someone who can help. I'd want someone with real experience who can jump right in. That's what I like about Indeed. You can get specific and target exactly what you need. It saves time because you're spending less energy sorting through mismatches. And here's a stat that says it all. In the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Listeners of this show will get $75 sponsored job credit to help get your job the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at FanDuel. The winter games are officially here, and if you're anything like us, you're locking in for events you only get to see on the biggest stage every 4 years. And that's why following the winter games on FanDuel just makes sense. From medal counts to individual events to finding your angle on the sports you care about most, FanDuel gives you more ways to stay connected to the action. The drama of curling, matches that start slow and somehow get intense fast, speed skating races decided by inches, hockey games that feel different right from the opening faceoff. Even niche events become must watch when you're fully locked into the competition. The winter games are on, and there's no better way to follow them than with FanDuel. FanDuel, play your game.
I'm Kalia Butler, host of Locked On Women's Basketball, and this is Mazda's Women's Basketball Snapshot, celebrating the work no highlight reel can ever capture. Dawn Staley and South Carolina remain on top of the SEC standings after handing Tennessee their worst defeat in program history with a final score of 93-40. In the 43-point win, South Carolina shot 69% from the field. Tessa Johnson had a perfect shooting night, scoring 24 points, shooting 4 for 4 from the floor, including 2 threes, and made all 4 of her free throws. And UCLA remains undefeated in Big Ten play, topping Michigan 69-66 as Player of the Year contender Lauren Betts put up a double-double, scoring 16 points, collecting 16 rebounds, and adding 5 assists and 3 blocks. These moments are earned off the clock, those long before the lights ever come on. The sweat, the fakes, the doubt, the scrapes, and coming back for more every time. Mazda puts the same drive into every detail. Wins define the moment, putting in the work, that defines you. There's more to a Mazda because there's more to you.
Thank you all for tapping into this live show after Ohio State's 70-66 loss to Virginia. It was a game the Buckeyes desperately needed to boost their resume, to get off the bubble, to be a lock to make the NCAA tournament. And here we are on a Saturday night. It's Valentine's Day, and the Buckeyes are trying to end their day on a high note, and they can't. They got in their own way. They didn't get stops down the stretch. They got outscored 17-5 in the final 10 minutes of the game, and it was over. The Buckeyes had it right there. They literally had the upset within arm's reach, and then they got further and further and further away. And here Jake Diebler is on a Saturday night in Nashville, not celebrating. He's not celebrating at all. He's trying to figure out how he keeps his own mind right and how he keeps his players' mind right without their second leading scorer when they probably need to win out right now, at least 4 more wins to get to 20 to give themselves a better shot to make the big dance. But when you already are lacking confidence and you're lacking the trust in your teammates, it's going to be very difficult, not only for the players that are losing confidence in each other, it's also hard for Jake Diebler, who I believe is losing confidence in some of the players too, because you are doing things great for 30 or 35 minutes. You're even raising your level of play. Sometimes you're dictating the pace of the game. But when it comes down to it, sometimes in the final 5 or 6 minutes, the Buckeyes aren't continuing that same level of play, continuing to dictate the pace. And that's a problem. But Jake Diebler has to figure something out. This isn't just about this season. It's about his future as being the Ohio State basketball coach. He has to figure something out. Tap into the back against the wall mindset that happened when he was the interim head coach, when he took over for Chris Holtman about 2.5 years ago. We all remember that, what happened. He goes in there, he upsets Purdue. You see the feeling of the anxiety leaving his body, but also the excitement and the emotion all over him when you realize that Jake Diebler in his first game coaching the Buckeyes as the interim head coach, as an Ohio kid, you beat Purdue and Matt Painter, who was built and created, has a great culture, has a great program, has great teams. You beat that team. Nobody was expecting you to do that. Nobody was expecting you to do anything like that. But all of a sudden, you made it happen. And he needs to make sure that that's what happens now. He preaches. And I'm going to keep using this analogy because it fits. Teach and preach that every single game you're playing is a pickup game mindset. Now, it's not first to 11, win by 2, but the thought is the same. If y'all want to stay on the court and play in the postseason and the big dance, y'all got to do what y'all got to do to win this game. That's it. Treat every game like your back is up against the wall. Now, I know you got Iowa, Wisconsin. Those are winnable games. You got Purdue down the stretch. That's a difficult game, but you're going to need it. at Penn State versus IU. Maybe another game in there that I forgot. But those are most of the games left on the schedule on top of the dome. Some winnable games that are there, but you can't just lean on the winnable games. You got to just win out. Take the doubt out of it for the committee. Do everything that is needed for the Buckeyes to win the next few games. Because I know that John Mobile Jr. is out indefinitely. The belief is that he will be back before the end of the season. That's great. That's cool. But the belief is you're not going to have him in the next game. So when you're not going to have him in the next game, what can you do? Maybe it's lean on Bruce Thornton more. But I don't know how great that is. I think you probably need, just my guess, you're going to need more points from Chapman or Tilly. Devin Royal, yes, but sometimes the Devin Royal, something up here mentally gets in the way, and it impacts him offensively, defensively. Sometimes the energy and the effort isn't there. He was also 2 for 12 shooting today, which is horrendous. Overall for the team, the Buckeyes shot 45%. Virginia shot 43%, so it wasn't like the shooting was way off. The Buckeyes were pretty good from downtown, 43% from downtown. Free throw shooting was not great. They were 67% from the charity stripe. It's not great at all. Aside from the hustle stats and losing the rebound battle, which I kind of expect Ohio State to lose the rebound battle in almost every game because you have tall men. You don't have big men. Ivan gave some great minutes defensively because Tilly is not strong there. There was a play that he rolled and double-teamed a smaller man on the block that led to a Virginia turnover. So Ivan is doing some pretty good things defensively. But you have to get preached to the players. Your back is up against the wall. Treat every game like it's win or go home and let the chips fall where they may. If you have that same mindset and you lose out, just not good enough. But if you have that same mindset and you play like that, and all of a sudden you're beating Wisconsin, you're beating Iowa, you might drop a game to Purdue, but you're beating Penn State and IU, okay, people will believe, oh, this team is a bubble team, but they're moving towards solidifying their spot to be in the NCAA tournament. I am personally losing faith Ohio State is going to make the tournament. I personally am. I don't know what Jake Diebler can do I know what he can do. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if Diebler is the right coach to lead a team right now in this position to get to the NCAA tournament, which is not good for Ohio State fans. It's not good at all because you want your team to make the big dance. You want them to make the second round of the tournament, which should be expected if you're an Ohio State team. But Bruce Thornton is one guy that is consistent. Who else out there is as consistent? I'm not saying you got to score 30 a game. Who else out there is as consistent as Bruce Thornton at their job? Let me know. The only guy that I can really say, which I think they still need more offensively from him, is Christoph Tilly because he has consistently hit his per-game average of points per game. He has. Rebounding, he needs to get better. My goodness, you're 7 feet tall. You should never have 3 rebounds in a game when you're 7 feet tall. That's ridiculous. That's horrible. But that's where we are right now. Yeah, I know the emotions coming out. I'm just not feeling what they're doing down the stretch. It's not just this game. It's multiple games where the Buckeyes are good to a point, and then they kind of fall apart. Is it on the players? Yes. It's also on the coach. Thank y'all for tapping into this live show after Ohio State 70-66 loss to Virginia. I apologize for the earlier technical difficulties. There may have been a portion of the show where my microphone was not connected. Apologize for that. That was a click of the button that sometimes clicked it. Oh no, I didn't hit it and solidify it. So that's my apologies there. Locked on Buckeyes will be back on Monday with a couple of shows for you, and then continue our morning show, football, afternoon show, basketball. If any football news or basketball news comes in extra, we'll throw some extra shows at you to give you all the Buckeye football and basketball you need. Let me know also in the chat, do you want to do some Ohio State women's basketball? That team's really, really good. Has a shot to make a deep run to the tournament. If you would like to get some shows about Ohio State's women's basketball team, let me know in the chat. You can follow me on any social media platform at jstevens07. Send every email to jstevens317@gmail.com. This has been Locked on Buckeyes after Ohio State's 70-66 loss to Virginia.